slightly to a different angle for today. And I hope you are feeling all well and ready to listen to another one of my sermons on this High Holy Day. I know that some of you may be feeling hungry or tired, and that you may be tempted to close your eyes and drift away, but I urge you to resist that temptation, because today is the day to be awake, to be alert, to be aware of the wonders that God has created for us. Let me illustrate this point by a short story. There was once a rabbi who was invited by one of his wealthy congregants to spend a day on his yacht. The rabbi arrived dressed in his finest clothes and boarded the boat with a smile. He enjoyed the breeze and the sun and relaxed on the deck with a cigar. Another guest, who mistook the rabbi for the owner of the yacht, approached him and said, "This is an amazing boat you have here. How many people can it sleep?" The rabbi looked at him and said, "Actually, I'm a rabbi, and this isn't my boat, but I have a synagogue that sleeps 500. We laugh at this story because we can relate to it. We know how easy it is to fall asleep during a long service, or during a boring lecture at uni, or during a routine day. But we also know how sad it is to miss out on the opportunities that life offers us, to appreciate the beauty and the mystery that surround us, to connect with God and with each other. That's why we blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. The shofar is not just a musical instrument, it is a wake-up call. It is a reminder that we are not here to sleep through life, but to live it fully and joyfully. It is a challenge to open our eyes and our hearts and to see the world as God sees it. What does it mean to see the world as God sees it? It means to see it with wonder and awe. It means to be amazed by the miracles that happen every day, every hour, every minute. It means to be grateful to the gifts that God has given us and to see them wisely and generously. One of the greatest Jewish thinkers of all time, Maimonides, taught us that the shofar calls us out to us and says, "Awake, awake, you sleepers, from your sleep. Arouse your slumbers from your slumber." The shofar is an alarm clock that tells us to stop wasting time on trivial matters and to focus on what really matters. But what really matters? How do we know what is important and what is not? How do we distinguish between the essential and the accidental? The answer is simple. We look at the world through the eyes of children. Many of you have children or grandchildren or have spent time with them. You know how curious they are, how fascinated they are by everything they see and hear and touch. You know how they ask questions without fear or shame, how they express their feelings without hesitation or guilt. You know how they laugh and cry and sing and dance without worrying about what others think. Children are awake. Children are alive. Children are spiritual. As Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel said, "What we lack is not a will to believe, but a will to wonder." Our goal should be to live in radical amazement. Get up in the morning and look at the world in a way that takes nothing for granted. Everything is phenomenal. Everything is incredible. Never treat life casually. To be spiritual is to be amazed. I remember spending time with the youngest daughter of my sister. It's a while ago, but still I remember it, and she has taught me more about life than any book or teacher ever could. She has taught me how to see the world with fresh eyes, how to appreciate the small things that make a big difference, how to love unconditionally and passionately. Perhaps we should start our days saying in the morning, first thing in the morning, Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Thank you, God, for giving me another day of life, another chance to learn and to grow and to serve. Yes, we should start our days with gratitude and enthusiasm. That's how we should live our years, with wonder and with awe. I know that some of you may think that this is too naive and too optimistic. I know that some of you may say that the world is full of problems and pain, that there is too much suffering and injustice, that there is too much evil and violence. I don't deny that. I don't ignore the truth. I don't pretend that everything is fine when it is not. But I also don't let the reality define me. I don't let that truth paralyze me. I don't let the negativity consume me. Because I believe that there is another reality, another truth, another way of being. I believe that there is goodness in the world and that we can find it if we look for it. I believe that there is hope in the world and that we can create if we work for it. I believe that there is love in the world and that we can share it if we open our hearts. That's what Judaism is about for me. It's about finding, creating and sharing goodness, hope and love. It's about waking up the possibilities that God has given us and making them a reality. As the poet Mary Oliver wrote, when it's over, I want to say, all my life I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. That's how I want to live my life. That's how I want you to live your lives. That's how I want us to live our lives together. So let us hear the shofar today and let it awaken us from our slumber. Let us see the world today and let it amaze us in its beauty. Let us celebrate the new year today and let it inspire us to be better people. Shana Tova, a good and an amazing new year to all of you. Shana Tova. And I had